The Suicide Boys are currently at the peak of their fame, from going on their annual global Grade A tours to reaching platinum status on their records Antarctica and To Those I Love, Thanks for Sticking Around. The Suicide Boys went from the struggle of the 7th Ward to underground legends, eventually reaching global stardom. However, a select share of people genuinely believe that the Suicide Boys died years ago, and that the artists you see performing as them now are clones that have been created to continue their legacy. Before I continue, I'd like to mention that this video covers one of the more outlandish topics on this channel. Regardless, it's always fun to learn about the conspiracies people come up with, even though this one is pretty old. If you have a suggestion for a topic to cover in a future video, be sure to let me know. With that being said, let's dive into the disturbing Suicide Boys conspiracy. Reddit has had its share of controversy since its inception. The platform has hosted millions of leaks or conspiracies related to any topic you could think of. In 2018, the Suicide Boys had their name thrown into the Reddit conspiracy hat. It was January 30th of 2018 when a Reddit user formerly known as IllPeep made a post claiming that the Suicide Boys had died at the beginning of 2016. The following post is extremely long, so I will not read the unnecessary information. I've broken the post down into specific sections to make it easier to follow. The post opens by saying, "This might sound strange to all of you, but haven't you all ever stopped to think about what happened with the real Scrim and the real Oddie Nuff in the early days of 2016? They died in a horrible car crash on January 6, 2016. Scrim was high and lost control of the car. Oddie was in the passenger seat. This piece of news says that there are 2 injured, but since then there has been no news about this. It's because they were later confirmed as dead." The link provided in the post takes you to a news article from January 7th of 2016 with the headline, "At least 2 injured in serious accident on Canal Boulevard in New Orleans." The article is brief, however, and does not hint at the identities of the 2 critically injured people. As mentioned in the Reddit post, there is no public record with any update from that crash. However, while Scrim and Ruby are from New Orleans, the city has a population of over 350,000 people. The Suicide Boys were also consistently traveling for music at this point, and even performed in San Antonio just 9 days later after their alleged car accident. Because of this, the chances that this news article is about them are extremely unlikely. While the validity of the Reddit post is already challenged at this point, the following section decreases its credibility even more. So what happened then? Scrim Sr., father of Slick Sloth, wanting to continue his son's work along with Oddie's family, hired 2 people similar in theory, not uncanny resemblance, to Oddie and Scrim so they could act like the Suicide Boys and not let any suspicious doubts about their disappearance. But those doubles doesn't really look like the original boys, so Scrim Sr. had a better idea. They could do anything to hide their dissemblance to the original duo, as long as it wasn't blatant enough to make the fans suspect. Scrim's copy, which goes by the fake name of Lil Cutthroat, made face tattoos and dreads as his new style. Oddie Nuff's copy started to act more and more strange on the pictures, now only taking them looking to the ground to imitate his deceased counterpart and to not get called out as a fake. Let's compare a photo of the Suicide Boys in 2015 to a photo taken just last year in 2023. While the appearance of both Oddie Nuff and Scrim have changed immensely, things such as facial structure and eye color remain the same. With almost a decade passing between the 2 photos, the most recent simply looks like a more matured and evolved version of Scrim and Ruby. The Reddit post then goes on to talk about how artists in the Suicide Boys' current and former circle also believe they are no longer with us. Germ, an old friend of the original Suicide Boys, with whom he had pre-recorded the entire mixtape Dirty Nasty Suicide, knows about the fake Suicide Boys. In a deleted tweet, he stated, "Man, those pretending to be my friends know shit about music. Eyes open. Even Black Smurf got distant with them because they are not the real Suicide Boys I know," according to him. Germ and Suicide Boys released their 3rd full-length tape in 2023 titled Dirtiest, Nastiest Suicide. Regardless of whether the tweet was deleted or not, a post that vague cannot confirm that Germ has any knowledge about a cloned version of the Suicide Boys. Black Smurf has stated that he does not want to associate with the Suicide Boys anymore, however, that is for a completely different reason. While this isn't the initial post that sparked the drama, Cold-Blooded tweeted in 2020, "I have never heard Suicide Boys give credit, compensation, or even try to help out TA Double Dollar, Black Smurf, or Jay Green." To which Smurf responded with, "Really don't care if I never hear from them again. Wish them the best in their endeavors." In response to the Reddit post, Black Smurf claiming that they are not the real Suicide Boys could just imply a change in personality due to increased success, rather than death altogether. Shifting focus back to the car accident theory, neither Germ or Black Smurf have actually stated anything directly regarding the Suicide Boys' death. With that being said, a mysterious tweet made on November 1st of 2021 by rapper Chapo states, "I know the real Suicide Boys, and they both dead." With no context and no further explanation, this tweet leaves us with more questions about what Chapo was implying. Could it be connected to the car accident theory, or could it just be another joke? Since then, they have been using the Grey 59 as a brand and disrespecting the name and legacy of the Suicide Boys. Notice how 2015 was full of releases, and then suddenly at 2016 they slowly stopped releasing music, and in 2017 they just released some mixtapes that not even resemble the original Kill Yourself sagas. They even made a loud and clear message on one of those mixtapes, which is the song Second Hand, which is a subliminal message about the real Suicide Boys being substituted to fake, phony, second-hand copies. Unsurprisingly, the responses to this Reddit post provide many mixed reactions. An overwhelming majority of fans did not believe it and responded to the original poster with comments such as, "Lay down the crack pipe," and "This guy did this post for clout." However, others actually became skeptical of the boys' authenticity. "I don't believe this, but at the same time I do. What the fuck, man? You got me fucked up," one user mentioned. "More relevant for every day that passes by," said another. Still, most people agree that the post is reaching, as there is no real evidence to support the claim. Because of the traction this post received, it eventually reached the Suicide Boys themselves. However, they were quite fond of the story, even playing along with the narrative. A 2023 interview with Billboard opens with an overview of the original Reddit post. The article reads, "While lounging in their hotel room before a show in Richmond, Virginia, Ruby the Cherry and Scrim confirm with Billboard that the internet myth is correct. That is true. I've seen that theory, and the one thing I will say is that it is true," Ruby states. Scrim reinforces the claim, stating, "That's the one thing fans figured out." The instigating from the boys does not stop there though, as in the Hot Razor animated music video, there is a clip with Scrim rising out of his grave. On his tombstone it states, "Rip Scrim, 1989 to 2016. Now, this could either be referencing the car accident theory, as the dates match up. It could also, however, be referencing the 27 Club, which is mentioned by Scrim in many of his old verses. Regardless, the Suicide Boys have managed to join in on what has now become a bit of a joke within their community. Whether the theory is true or not, what it does show is the growth of the Suicide Boys throughout their music career. Changes to their music style and personas have influenced the music industry immensely, popularizing the shadow rap genre on a mainstream level. Maybe they have moved away from the music of 2016 and prior, but you can expect that with any artist as they progress. But what do you think about this theory? Do you think the Reddit post is fishing for attention? Or do you think there is genuine suspicion that the Suicide Boys are dead? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next video.